Xbox gets PC launchers, gets PlayStation games. The update that we talked about is now here and is starting to roll out in the Insider program. So we will take a look at that. We have some more bad news potentially coming next week for Xbox with layoffs that people are speculating about. And there is a studio here that could be hit pretty hard. We have some more information about Call of Duty Black Ops 7 that I don't think was supposed to get out there, but it seems like it is. We get our first look here at Resident Evil Requiem from the first person and the third person perspective. And some other things to go over as well. We'll look at everything here. But before we do, if you do enjoy daily gaming news and content, make sure to hit the subscribe, share, like, all that stuff helps get the channel out there. So I'd appreciate the support. But for now, let's get into it. So Xbox had their June update. It was a massive update looking at the future of what I believe Xbox is going to be from the PC perspective as well as from the console perspective and everything in between that plays Xbox, whether that's going to be the handhelds and the ROG Xbox Ally. You're going to be able to get access to your Xbox games and your PC games from multiple different launchers. Obviously, the biggest one is the main launcher on PC, which is Steam, meaning that you're going to get everything: Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, all in one place, which has a lot of people very excited about the future of the Xbox ecosystem. People that potentially would have not been as interested, but if you can get them into it by giving them access to their games across multiple different places, I think it will be very, very enticing. And now we have our first look here. And obviously, one of the biggest questions people do have is, are you getting the PlayStation PC games on Xbox? And the answer, which was always an obvious one in my opinion, because I don't see how PlayStation would or could block this off of Steam unless they simply took their games off Steam and risked pissing off a lot of their partners. The answer is yes. We have Tom Warren here showing off the new update. And you can see within the library, it shows Spider-Man and Destiny here. But I mean, Destiny's already multi-platform, but you have Spider-Man here and it has the Steam logo on the bottom. You click on that and it launches the game via the Xbox app. And this is what we are going to see for the upcoming Xbox handheld. And I think we are going to see this pretty similar experience here on the next at-home Xbox console. That is, I am guessing here, my assumption here is this is what they're doing. And from the things that they have said, that they're hinting that this is what we are going to be getting going forward into the next generation. In fact, here is a video of it. Spider-Man 2 play. It starts the game here through the Steam launcher and boom, game opens up on your Xbox device, wherever that may be. You're going to be able to jump in here and you're going to be able to play everything that you do own across these different launchers. We also have this year some more look on the actual handheld and the Xbox app of what we can expect, how this experience is going to be when the Xbox ROG Ally comes out, or whatever handhelds you do have, because we have heard that Xbox is going to allow this experience to live on other handhelds that are already out there, which is a great thing, something that I've thought that they definitely needed to do, and they're going to be doing it. So if you have an ROG Ally X, or you have an current ROG Ally, or even something like a Lenovo Legion Go, you're going to be able to install this and you're going to be able to get access to this full Xbox experience, including Steam integration in there. So this is big. Everything here is now happening. The update is rolling out to insiders. My Xbox app yet still hasn't gotten the update, but I'm sure I'll get it in the next few days or so. And then after that, it will be rolling out to everybody. And that full seamless integration is going to be a nice change, a nice experience for people who use this app a lot. If you're somebody who's currently in the Xbox ecosystem, this will just be an easy adjustment, an easy change, and a welcome change. And I feel like there are people out there that if they're not fully integrated into the ecosystem, something like this will bring them to check it out. Because I've had people say to me, this is cool, I like this, but I like Steam so much, I'd rather it be reverse, where you get the full Game Pass and Xbox catalogs integrated directly into Steam. And the reality is their games are on Steam that you can buy. But just even with that thought process, I think knowing that this is an option via the Xbox app itself may intrigue more people in there to go and check it out and just see how it does all fully work. And you also have things like Xbox Play Anywhere, which is an added bonus if you are obviously going through the Xbox app. And this is just another picture here. Paris Lily on social media showed his library and everything that was installed. And you can see just the vast array of games from Xbox Game Pass to Steam, to just Xbox and everything, all here in a singular place. This is great. There's improvements that need to come. They need to make this a good experience, something that is nice to look at, easy to use across all of the different devices that they have. But as of right now, very exciting, I think, for the future of what we can expect here from the Xbox experience. That's the good news when it comes to Xbox. And as we know with Xbox, they have lots of good news. And then with this good news, generally shortly after comes something that is going to be pretty bad. And that is right now the rumors of the job cuts. I would say with all of the major journalists and all of the big people out there who have reported on the stuff in the past and have been correct, something is going to happen next week, and it isn't going to be good in terms of layoffs at Xbox. But how big is this going to be? That is the biggest question here. One of the studios, though, that potentially is going to be hit is going to be Turn 10. We've heard multiple reports as to how many people are going to be getting cut. That, I think, is in just great speculation because you've seen just large ranges of numbers. So we won't really know until next week. But there will be Xbox game studios affected by this. The question is, will some of them be shut down or will it just be layoffs? And Forza Motorsport Studio is set to be bracing for job cuts at Xbox. And this is, I believe, from Tom Moran, who said that he has heard from sources himself, as well as Andy Robinson, who has said this. So we have here saying, following Bloomberg's report about the layoffs, the industry veteran George Broussard suggesting entire studios could be shut down. And Tom Moran mentioned that Forza Motorsport Studios Turn 10 is bracing for cuts. In fact, George Broussard says here that news has reported imminent Xbox layoffs, but I'm hearing internal developer level stuff where people at virtually every studio are anxious and worried. Word that potentially entire studios may be shuttered. Expectations are 1,000 to 2,000 people. I think the Xbox unit has about 10K. Andy Robinson here from VGC quote tweets that saying, can't confirm any specific details and imagine a few would be able to, but there's certainly a lot of negative chatter coming out of the UK Xbox studios today. For the sake of employees, I hope details are confirmed swiftly, but I expect this will drag into next week. And the expectation here is that the studio that's going to be hit the hardest is Turn 10. So we will wait and see what happens next week, of course, but this is going to be not good news at Xbox Game Studios. And you have to ask yourself why. Why are they making more cuts? Are they cutting back and just bringing the numbers back down to the numbers that they were kind of at previously before they did expand out? This has have to do with Game Pass and the purchase of Activision Blizzard. And because of how big of an acquisition that is, are they just cutting costs across the board to try to make back some of that money and have better profit margins? A lot of those questions are going to be asked. And the reality is, this is industry-wide. These cuts, layoffs, studio closures, this isn't just an Xbox problem or a Microsoft problem. This is everyone. We've seen this across the board. You've seen this at PlayStation. You've seen this at multiple third parties and everything and big publishers. So it's just unfortunate at the gaming industry. If you're in the gaming industry right now, a development studio, there's a lot of uncertainty, and that sucks for those people who do get laid off. And hopefully at the end of the day, they do end up landing on their feet. Now, sticking on Xbox Game Studios, as we know, we've heard that they work together on certain projects and collaborate and everything. One thing that I found interesting here is an article that came out yesterday is Obsidian has revealed that Halo Studios helped with The Outer Worlds 2, and they revealed actually just how they helped here with The Outer Worlds 2. This is an interview with game director Brandon Adler explaining that after The Outer Worlds 1 came out, the team went and did a full breakdown on Destiny because they felt the gunplay needed improvement, and then talked to Halo Studios team about how to implement effective gunplay play as well. And they say here, we also talked to the Halo folks. They gave us a huge list of stuff and said, you guys should target this. You should add that to your weapons and configurations. And the results, according to the Guardian's hand-on preview, is that weapons are more enjoyable to wield in the Outer Worlds 2, mentioning how they relished each encounter rather than avoiding large-scale combat like in the original. This game comes out obviously October 29th, 2025, day one in Game Pass and everything. I loved the Outer Worlds one, but definitely gunplay was one of the things in the first game that wasn't a major highlight for me. And hearing they consulted people at Halo Studios who are great with gunplay, have great mechanics in their games, this has me even more excited for the Outer Worlds 2 this year. Maybe one of my favorite games if they really did enhance the gunplay to make it more fun, and it turns into you wanting to take on more encounters rather than straying away. So very cool stuff there. It's very smart for these studios to collaborate with other studios who are good at specific things within the scope of their game. If they can fine tune smaller parts using the expertise from other studios, they can overall have obviously a better game. Yesterday, we talked about PlayStation Plus, and there is this going around here that a lot of people are talking about. I don't think it is too out of the ordinary because Xbox does the same thing here with Xbox Game Pass, but there is one significant difference, and that has to do with the first parties. But in terms of PlayStation Plus, I mentioned that I thought the service has been better over the last year or so, or the last few months. And it's because they've been getting better third-party games in there, more day one third-party games, and overall you can see they're trying harder to get deals. But one of the things that I did find interesting that PlayStation Plus does do is they remove their own games from the service. They rotate their own first-party titles from the service. Xbox doesn't do this, and that is a major advantage for Xbox Game Pass. But they explained here why they do end up doing this. This again was from Nick McGuire, the VP of Global Services of PlayStation. He spoke with GameFile and was asked about the fact that PlayStation regularly delists games from the service. Now, Xbox is the same thing, so that isn't out of the ordinary, but the difference again here is the first party stuff that they do. And he says here, we've got 80 collections of games across the catalog, so we want to keep it fresh and bring in new games. Sometimes that means taking a few games out at the same time to keep the proposition interesting and help people find new games as well. So basically, they do it just to kind of keep people wanting more, which from a business perspective, that is a smart strategy in the sense to keep people always wondering and wanting something brand new to come out and rotating games that aren't being played as much out of the catalog. But there are definitely disadvantages to this in terms of the value and the perspective that gamers do have when they look at these services, because first party games I think should just always stay in the service, even if they're not their day and date ones. This is a PlayStation subscription service. If they're putting some of their older titles in there, they should keep them in there for the people that are subscribed at least at the higher tiers, and PlayStation does rotate those out. So that's just an interesting difference here, I would say, between the two services. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is the big Call of Duty coming out this year, and they accidentally revealed an interesting mode here that could be a ton of fun. They revealed a 20v20 wingsuit mode. And they say here that they accidentally revealed two new game modes coming to Black Ops 7, one which supports 20v20 matches with wingsuits. And then they also showed off the other one here, which is Overload, which features two teams of 6 as they each fight to control a neutral EMP device that must be delivered to the enemy HO to score. So both of those sound very fun. Here's the actual screenshots and the leak of it, where they say here skirmish 20v20, which is that wingsuit mode. And then you also have here where they accidentally showed off this, two teams of 6 players each fight to control the neutral EMP with the 6v6. So that was a leak. There will be some cool stuff here in Black Ops 7 that they want to put in there to differentiate it from Black Ops 6, of course, which had great gameplay and it was a lot of fun. So I'll be interested in trying those game modes out to see how they do, especially that 20v20 wingsuit. That could get pretty crazy and sounds like it could be a lot of fun. And finally, Resident Evil Requiem, the game that was a highlight for a lot of people at the Summer Game Fest. They ended off the show with that one. Well, we got our first look here at Requiem in action. The game looks so good. It comes out February 27th on PS5, Series X and S, and the PC. And this is, they say, a bold shift for the franchise, this is according to Capcom themselves. And according to the director, Koshi Nakanishi, says that unlike past Resident Evil protagonist, Grace has little combat experience, which means players will watch her learn and grow as the game progresses. And they say Requiem initially at least looks like a familiar successor to the first person games RE7 and Village, with Ashcroft trapped in some sort of gothical hospital. And they say as the player progresses further through the dimly lit corridors with flickering lights casting unsettling shadows across the environment, it's clear that in this section, at least, Requiem really does feel like the traditional survival horror we were all promised. One of the things that was interesting is that they didn't say, I believe in previous articles, that the two views that you use, first person or third person, as you can see the third person up here now, will change the way that you play and the way that you feel. One will be more horror feeling, other will be more action feeling, which is pretty cool. And you can see the two viewpoints here. It'll be fun. I mean, I'll try out both for sure because I did enjoy the first person in 7 and 8, but the third person clearly gives you that more classic Resident Evil feel. So it looks great. Go check out the video. I'm very excited for this one. I think it'll be an amazing game like 7 and 8 were, and I can't wait to jump in. But I'll end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.